Good evening, everyone.
Hey,
Sandy is over here being rowdy, flinging her raccoon all about.
Alan.
Whoa. Whoa.
Alan.
What is this?
It's me, Try.
What happened to you?
Mr. Raptor.
I mean, I'm just impressed to see that mass technology has come along to the point where it can move your jaw with it.
That's right.
Come here, Sandy.
I found this like in a thing
rowdy
last night when we were like, messing around and like just like in like us and the kids were like messing around like playing like board games and stuff. And I found this and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna wear this on the live stream tomorrow." And I feel like I needed to surprise you with it so I could be like, I don't know, so I could be like, Alan, wake up. All right.
Shh, Sandy.
All right. But my kids wanted me to wear that the entire time, but it like digs into my forehead, and there's like no way I'm gonna wear that the whole time. Maybe I'll flip it on later on.
Let's be quiet.
All right. There. Now that I've landed that joke, I feel a lot better. What's going on over there?
What's going on? Oh,
It sounded like you're walking away.
I was getting my N64 controller because I am going to play an N64 game. Look at this rowdy dog over here. Y'all see this? What are you doing?
A rowdy dog.
You hear her growling and snarling. She's going to go to a new. She hasn't been groomed in a while because the groomer I'd been taking her to closed. And
they closed down like for good?
Yeah, they just closed.
Dang.
It's just an independent groomer. I'm going to take her to another one tomorrow. I'm kind of nervous just because I don't know, like just like dropping her off at like, the vet or the groomer or anything, it makes me nervous.
Yeah, it makes you nervous that,
Well, I mean, she's probably having like a terrible experience. Like she, she doesn't understand what's going on.
At the groomer? Probably not, man.
Well,
like
I don't know. Like she probably doesn't love the bath. She likes brushing. She probably doesn't like drying. Well, she likes drying with
like
towels.
groomers, they have like a special way sometimes with like places that like specialize in that. I'm not talking about someplace like PetSmart where Nellie had a bad experience.
Yeah.
But like places that are just like good like groomers, I feel like it's like going to the spa.
Well, I mean,
hopefully
so. Hopefully so.
Yeah.
I just, but I don't know how she reacts to it. She's probably very confused and doesn't know anyone there, and Anyway, I'm gonna switch over to the game screen.
Yeah. I don't really know anything about this.
Yeah, so it's actually pretty neat. Like this is the first time I did Mario 64 decompilation a long time ago, but that was like people actually like really doing like manual work to, I don't know how it's done, but they reverse engineer the game to the point that you can generate new source code that's open source and Nintendo can't do anything about it because the actual game assets are provided by, in theory, your own copy of the game ROM.
Mm-hmm.
And, they have written their own code that, replaces the functions of Mario 64. And you can port that to, PC, all kinds of things. I mean, I think people made like Wii U ports, Xbox ports. switch ports, probably. I mean, all kinds of things. This is different. And I don't, you know, people in the chat can probably give the details better than I can. There was a newer thing that came out several months ago, and the big story was that Majora's Mask was being recompiled. Like people are calling this recompilation and not decompilation, because there's a tool that, as far as I understand it, kind of does the heavy lifting for you and gives you a really good, you know, it takes a long time, I believe. You know, it's not something you just like click and drag and it, you know, boom, the game is decompiled. Like it takes some time to do that process. And then I think you still have to do some manual programming and stuff to make sure everything works. But the big thing was that Majora's Mask was done that way, and people were already like, you know, doing lots of modifications and stuff. This was done the same way. I'm not sure if there's a lot else out there that's been done with that tool yet that is ready of a play state as this. I don't know a lot about it, and I've not played the Majora's Mask thing. This is really my first experience with it. But what I tried earlier, just to make sure I got this up and running, you know, with the Switch Online controller and settings the way I want, I'm pretty impressed. So like, all you have to do, the only roadblock I had to like Google a bit and figure out, you need to install like Microsoft C++ redistributable. So there's always like, it always seems like there's some Microsoft thing that you have to install to do anything. And it's like, how have I not? I swear I've installed this before. Like, how is this not
like different years or something?
Maybe.
Like
yeah. I don't know. I mean, and this is, yeah, I mean, and this is not a computer that I, you know, use heavily. I mean, and this is a computer with a pretty wimpy CPU and an old GTX 1080 Ti. But from what I saw, it's running pretty good here. But all you have to do once you have that C++ whatever installed, like where it says Gambare on the menu here, it says select ROM. And all I did was select the ROM, and then you're good to go. And as you can see on the left here, it says coming soon, Goemon's Great Adventure, which would be a really big deal. I think, because it's a 2D game, and you know, therefore like running at a higher frame rate would be even more beneficial for it. So anyway, let's Ganbare.
Go. So the PC you're playing this on is not the one you just built.
No, this is the one that I used to use for streaming, which has a real wimpy CPU, and my old 1080 Ti is in it.
Okay.
You know, I was looking at our stream archives. I don't think we've ever streamed this. Is that?
Not this one, I don't think. I'm only, like, I did the second one.
Like, it seems crazy to me we didn't stream this at some point.
Yeah, I don't.
Like,
considering how much it's like in episodes.
Yeah. So now something interesting. This shot here with Yai at the top of the building, in the if you're playing this original hardware, that's actually 60 frames per second, or at least in part. I could be wrong here, but I think this game is like double buffer VSync, which means if it, you know, can't hit the frame rate target, it goes to half, and if it can't meet that, it goes to half again. So I could be fuzzy, but I think this game can, in theory, and very rarely does, hit 60 frames per second.
Okay, so except for, like you said in the intro, like
right, it can almost never.
It gives you a very false impression of what the game's gonna be.
And by the way, see this like sun in the background? See how it's widescreen and it's not.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah. So the very, very, very rarely this game can hit 60 frames per second, and
but ideally this version
should be able to do it all the time.
Yeah.
So, there's a little funny glitch with like around this like number thing there, So, I mean, this is like version 0.02.
Yeah, I saw that numbering there.
Also, an interesting thing, the backgrounds seem to be only able to move in, the increments of the original resolution, so they look kind of jumpy compared to like the actual like 3D graphics.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's expected,
there's
I guess.
And who knows if anything could be done about that realistically. But it's pretty. What's interesting, the text is actually, I don't know if they like did it themselves or if the original assets just scale this way, where the text is it's 4K. I am playing this in 4K, by the way, on this kind of wimpy computer. The only thing I didn't turn on anti-aliasing.
Not that wimpy. I mean, like the GTX 1080 Ti is.
Well, it's old.
It's like better than like PS4.
Sure.
And
but the CPU is pretty low. I mean, it's probably like a 5-year-old like entry-level AMD CPU.
Yeah. There was a couple of super chats I'm going to get to here. 11 minutes ago, there was a local s'mores Pop-Tart with $5. Thank you. Saying good evening, MLiG, and happy Sunday. Kicking back with some Earth Defense Force 6, some tea, and tonight's stream to end off my weekend. I didn't even realize that.
I need to play
PDF out. I didn't even know if 5 came out.
Yeah, I think I have like 4.1 for the PS4 is what I think I have.
4.1.
Yeah, I need to play that.
And there's also $10 from Enchilada Backlogger.
Oh, thank you.
And ahoy, gentlemen. I'm excited to see Goemon will compare to the masterpiece that is on the N64. This week is the new Zelda, and I'm quite ready for it. I bet many are. Lots of new games incoming.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've decided on this. Like I decided this past week. I think I'm going to wait on Zelda. Like it's a real hard thing for me to do.
Like you're gonna buy it, but you're just not gonna play it right away.
Well, I actually thought I had it pre-ordered, but I didn't. So I might not. I don't know. But like Link's Awakening, like just we're only 8:24, and I've already said double buffer VSync twice. It's got that whole thing where if it can't hit 60, it drops hard to 30, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not that picky with frame rate. I'm really not. Like, I almost wish it was just like constantly stuttering instead of like ping-ponging between 30 and 60, right? Like the way that it does it like irritates me so much more than most frame rate issues. And
I mean, do we know this new one's going to have the same issues as?
We don't know for sure, but I strongly suspect it will. So until I either hear that A, it doesn't have those problems, or B, like a hacked switch, I think it's mostly a memory bandwidth thing. So a hacked switch might be able to. I'm really interested in that project that Macho Nacho looked at, where this guy is making these kits for overclocking the Switch, just using it like a console. It comes with its own cooling kit and stuff like that.
Right.
Trying to find the N. I forget what the N looks like. Where is the end? I'm really okay. I think it's the one with that sign out front. I'm really interested in that. Like, so if I hear that fixes it, I might do something like that. Or just make it one of the first games I play on the Switch too. But I feel like it's a game. I feel like it's a game that could have that is likely to have problems, and if waiting a little bit gives me a better experience with it, I think that'll be worth it. I'm really excited for it, but I think I'm going to wait.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not gonna like. I have like almost zero hype for it, but I have it pre-ordered because it like the Best Buy members had like a buy two get one free on pre-orders.
Really? Is that
this was like
deal still available?
No, well, this was like over a month ago, I think.
Oh, okay.
And I got that that new Detective Club game.
Oh, okay.
And I pre-ordered Donkey Kong Country Returns. Just 'cause I didn't know what else to do for a third game. I just thought I'd pre-order something that's
yeah. But I mean I thought about getting it right away, but I'm like, if I'm going to wait, like anyway, Nintendo's pretty good about putting out versions with patches on them later.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, I mean, I'm not super.
I think it looks really, really good.
I'm like, outside of the announcement trailer, like I haven't watched anything. So like that's,
I haven't. I haven't either, like intentionally, because I don't want spoilers.
Right. I mean, I like intentionally or non-intentionally, like it just. I don't know. Like I have almost zero hype for it. The only thing that I'm like really excited for is Ease 10 at the end of October.
Well, I mean, I think I'm kind of going to move into a phase of where I'm mostly going to work on pledge games.
Yeah, yes. I mean, same here.
From now to the end of the year, and I feel like I'm in the right frame of mind for it right now too. So like, no need to have Zelda get in the way of that, right? Like I'm probably most of the way through God of War Ragnarok, which I started playing after Astrobot, just because that God of War level I thought was really well done, and it made me think like, okay, well I'm in the mood for that game now, so may as well get that off my backlog. And after that, I think I don't know, Doom 2016.
Which is longer than you'd think.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, I'm actually even also kind of in the mood for Sekiro, which is one of the longer games that I have to do. So I don't know. We will see. But like I'm kind of, I've gotten myself in the mindset where it's like, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm waiting on Zelda, and I'm going to work on these other games, and I will enjoy Zelda when the time is right.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I finished Visions of Mana today. I have no idea how I managed to like put as much time into that game as I did. I just had over the past last weekend and this weekend, like I put a lot of time in. Probably that's what helped it a lot. And that was something I was not intending on playing at all, but it just sounded right. And I mean, it was fine. It's like a solid 6.5 or 7.
Which to most people would be like avoid, but like
no,
that should be a good score.
Yes, and at times it is visually stunning. Like when you get to the mana tree in it looks like the box art from the first game. Like it just looks incredible. Some of the locations, and some of the music is really, really good. There's a lot of music, and some of the field music is really good. I was telling Tri before, he's like, at least the voice acting sounds like it's better than Trials of Mana. I'm like, I don't know about that. I really don't know about that.
The demo, I didn't think it was great, but I didn't think the voice acting was great, but like Trials of Mana is such a low bar to clear for voice acting.
Yes. I mean, it's maybe it's like a slight improvement. My personal problem with it, for anybody who's played it, has anybody in the chat played it? Because you pick up these little floating orbs on the overworld, like in each area, and a character has to say like something every single time they pick one up, and it's like one of 3 sayings, and it drove me crazy. It drove me absolutely crazy. Like these things are called like grizzly syrup. Yeah, exactly. Jimmy Schindler saying grizzly. It is the most grating thing that I have experienced in the game in a very long time. And not only that, but like the things that the other characters say are like equally as annoying. And it's like the Dud Bears are gonna love this. And it's just like I wish that why can't there just be a toggle? Like I almost turned off the voice acting because of that.
Wow.
It's like beyond obnoxious. But like outside of that, you know, like I will say that maybe the last like 30% of the game like really drags things out to a level where it's, I don't know, it loses all this momentum.
Yeah.
But you know, before that, it's pretty good. Like it's just kind of a fun story. And at times it looks incredible. Bitches and Man didn't have enough tails. Like every character except for the main character has a tail. Like every.
Wow, really? When I played the demo, I equipped that cat guy with a knife, and he like holds a knife in his tail.
Yeah, and that form of the character, like because it has like job classes and stuff. That version of the character is like super overpowered.
Oh, really?
That once I figured out where you know, like just how overpowered it could be with one move, which is like you kind of zip around really quick and you'll like teleport to the enemy and stuff like that. It was all over. Like there was one boss where I think that I killed it in like less than 20 seconds.
Wow.
Because you can use as long as you go into the fight with the, you know, it's like his power, if he's equipped with the, you know, like the 2 knives and the tail knife, he can slow down time. And you know, like I love time slowdown mechanics.
Yeah.
So I exploited that a lot. Where if you go in and then that version of the character will always do like these critical hits, and I just like kept on equipping him with abilities that will make him do critical hits more frequently, and also like up the critical hit damage, which is kind of something that I never have done before in a game. But it was fun to kind of break it in that way. Although there is a post game, and I wonder how like tough it is, because there's like 11 more trophies or something like that, or 10 more to get to platinum if I wanted to, but I don't know if I want to do that.
I should kind of show what the settings are like in this.
Yeah.
Real briefly. So I mapped the menu to the L button because it's not needed otherwise. And you know, this could certainly be arted up a lot more, but you know, it's I do like the settings that they've gotten here. You know, this is a solid start. The one thing I had to do, I had to delete because you can like bind things to more than one button, and I had to delete everything because I was really confused when I was testing it why every time I hit the B button to attack, it also brought up the map. Like toggled the map overlay on and off every time I attacked. And I figured out it was because of one of the default bindings. But this worked really well. I actually didn't realize how easy it was to get the Switch Online controllers working on PC, except from what I read, it sounded like you cannot use them wired. Is that right? Or is that only an N64 controller thing?
I don't know. I'll tell you one thing about those about the Switch Online. I feel like the battery is just like drained when they're not in use.
Oh, really?
Like, really fast. I don't know. I just saw.
I keep the ones. I mean, the ones I have, I either keep charged or they're a separate one that I mostly only use like wired with Mister. So I don't really. This was actually mostly dead when I had to put it on charge. So maybe so. But then on the graphics, you know, it's got not really any sound settings. So you can do a number of things. Like if I was playing this like for the stream, I think it's fun to do 4K. I mean, obviously the stream's not 4K, but you know, do the highest resolution you can with widescreen. I think it's fun to do for the stream just to see how it holds up, you know, pushed that far. Right. But if I was playing this for myself, I would probably use original with some of the downsampling. And so if you look here, you know, it's 240p, but it's, you know, 60 frames per second, which you couldn't do with the original. And the downsampling just kind of adds additional, you know, anti-aliasing by rendering at a higher resolution. You can turn that off, and it's just a lot jaggier. I guess it's kind of like turning the turning off the anti-aliasing via you know, the Game Shark codes or whatever. You know, it's similar to that. But then, you know, if you turn on 2x, that actually looks pretty similar to original N64 anti-aliasing quality. I don't think like this weird outline around the tree. I don't think it's that way on original hardware. You know, I don't know if there's anything that can be really done about some inconsistencies like that. Mm-hmm. You know, but if I were playing this for myself, I would probably do something like this, where I would do original aspect ratio. I'm not huge into forcing 4:3 games into widescreen if they didn't have like a native widescreen mode. I'm not big into that. So if I were to play this, I'd probably do it like this, where I'd get the benefit of 60 frames per second. But I'd play with the original resolution. I'd probably like pre-scale it on the Retro Tink and, you know, just get like a 60 frames per second version that looks mostly like the N64 version. That's how I would do it personally.
You should try downscaling it through the OSSC Pro.
Yeah. So you know, this is probably similar to what I would do with pre-scaling or downscaling or something like that. This is probably how I would do it. But for the purposes of the stream, I think it's fun to. Oopsie. There we go. Yeah, that's what. And there's, you know, 2x and 4x MSAA. But you know, I get more frame rate issues turning that on. So I've just been leaving anti-aliasing off. So yeah, I'm able to actually do 4K on this setup. I mean, there's frame rate issues here and there, but for the purposes of this stream, I think it's totally fine.
Yeah. 11 minutes ago, Demo Kirby dropped a $2 super chat.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Saying, Goemon 64, my first exposure to Japanese weirdness.
Yeah.
It's probably true for a lot of people.
I mean,
just Goemon in general. Maybe like mystical, like Legend of the Mystical Ninja.
You know, was it that N64 Maps book?
So the first volume came out.
Oh, did it?
I'm pretty. Well, it's like at least up for order. I think that it is released. Yeah, I mean, you should be. I'm assuming getting one because you're in that first one.
Right. So, yeah, like I submitted a few blurbs for that book, and you know, I talked about how, you know, Goemon, you know, I knew that, you know, most of the video games I liked like came from Japan and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I knew about Japan and things like that, but this was like really, I feel like my first exposure to any kind of media that was just like Japan inside and out, you know, like just thoroughly, unabashedly Japanese.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I don't know if it's just the way the controller is. I feel like I have a little more trouble with, like, you see how he's like sliding a bit? Like, it's probably like that in the original, but I feel like I've had a little more trouble. Just maybe it's just the
his feet are too sharp. It's too sharp to. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it may just be that I'm just so used to playing this game at lower frame rate that the 60 is just throwing me off, right?
Yeah. Demo Kirby also with another $2 said you should get an intentional game over screen.
Ooh, I can arrange that later. Probably I'll try to remember to do that.
I wonder what games you talked about in this book here.
Actually, I remember I did.
He had to split it into two.
Actually, I think there might be a
this
save
is volume
point, right?
1.
Is this a save point? Yes, this is a save point. Okay, I'll get a game over screen right away then.
Okay. If anybody, have you even looked at any of those video game map books?
I have not, but they look real cool.
They're super cool. I have the Genesis and Mega Drive one here.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty cool.
How much do I lose falling down there? Not much.
You know, it's just like either it scans or it's like maps in all kinds of aspects, I guess. It's like sometimes it's like screenshot maps of like towns like in game, but it's also like if a game like includes like a map. You know, have that stuff like scanned in there. Or just like, you know, just like maps in games, you know, like this right here. I think in mine,
the rate
I
that he
about
flashes looks a little weird when he gets hit. I think just because of the high frame rate, it makes his position look a little unstable. Oh, that's right. You have lives. All right. I'm doing it for you, Demo Kirby.
But I don't remember what you wrote about in this book. But I know that the second book, like I talked about Star Fox.
I remember writing about Goemon and Body Harvest.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember if I wrote about anything else.
Well, both of those would be in this first one.
Oh, is it alphabetical?
Yeah.
But yeah, like this was the first like thing that was like so Japanese, and like I'm sure that if you understood Japanese culture and played it in the original Japanese, like it you know, I'm sure there is some sense to the jokes. I'm sure some of them are pretty silly, but I'm sure there's some, you know, it makes more sense. But I just kind of enjoyed it as just like absurdist comedy. Like, wow, that is a high frame rate game over Hula Hoop Demons. Never thought I would see this game over screen at 60 frames per second.
I mean, having not played the game, does that game over screen have any relevance at all to the game?
That's a great question. I don't think you never fight
Like
demons.
these characters are not in the game.
Yeah, you don't fight demons that look like that. No.
They're just. They were just racking their brain. Like, what do you put on the game over screen?
but like, I
someone
just
had to work late for this.
I just enjoyed it as like absurdist humor because I assume like most people when they're teenagers like just go through a phase where like lol random humor is like the funniest thing. Like the less sense it makes, the funnier it is.
Yeah.
Like I was really into that for a long time. And like you know, there were definitely like comedy movies that like I didn't really understand at the time, and I still thought they were funny because I thought they were, you know, just silly haha random, right?
Yeah.
And I enjoyed this in the same way where it's just like, oh my gosh, Japan, so weird and goofy. Doesn't make no sense. And but still it was like this was the first time like you know, I guess I can't see it since I'm in a dungeon, but like if you're like elsewhere, you know, you can bring up the map of Japan and like, you know, they've got names of different regions of Japan. And you know, this was like the first time that I really felt like I explored some facsimile of Japan and experienced some weird tangent of Japanese culture, like through a piece of media. Because, like, you know, you play games like Mario or whatever, and it's like, well, yeah, it's Japanese, and yes, Japanese games, especially on consoles, tended to be more polished than American games. You know, I knew that, but you know, the content itself wasn't really Japanese, right? And this was the first time that I really saw anything, game or otherwise, that was just Japan all over it.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like that for me. Is Alex Kidd in High Tech World?
Dude, I saw. So remember we were at Long Island, and you're like, "Oh, there it is, Alex Kidd in High Tech World," and it was like, what was it? It was like
$150 or something. Stupid.
It was something insane. I saw it at Video Game World the other week for like 30 or so.
I wonder if it doesn't have a manual or something.
Maybe that might be it.
Because I know that mine doesn't have a manual, and I wonder if it's more expensive because maybe you need the manual to be able to beat it, like legit.
Oh, maybe that adds more value than most games. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know if it's still true, but you know, Video Game World's policy used to be that Genesis games that, you know, had the box but no manual were sold at the same price as card only.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
That was how I got Hyperstone Heist.
Right. So I wonder if, so did you almost consider it in that scenario?
No, because it looked so bad.
Yeah. It ain't great.
I mean, Video Game World has had like a ton of Master System games over the past year or two. I actually didn't buy anything. It's like the first time I've been to Video Game World in a long time where I didn't buy anything.
Yeah, I get that. I get that though. I mean, it's harder and harder to find, you know, like things to be like you feel compelled to get or excited about it because it's just I don't know. I'll tell you one thing. Like, so that my tour video will be out in September. So I am in pretty good shape with it. Granted, if like everything is, you know, as long as I have no problems this week, it should be. I'm guessing probably like by this time next week, ideally, like everyone who wanted to see it will have seen it. I'll tell you, like when it's all done, like I'm just gonna do like a major like clean out of like everything. Because I'm kind of like, I don't need this, I don't need this, like, you know, like I will probably get rid of like a bunch, like just, I don't know, like my closet is like has a bunch of stuff in it that just stuff that I can easily take to like e-waste or something like that. I do not get into the closet in this video because it's.
Oh no! Don't get to see the VHS tapes.
Well, I will like allude to it and show it just like very quickly, but it's like a disaster in there. But I definitely feel like I'm gonna go through like all of my bins of like cables and devices and stuff like that and be like, I can get rid of this, I can e-waste this, you know, I got like stack of like, it's gonna be out a year. It'll be out less than a year since the preview video, which is so stupid. But I don't know, like I feel like that's kind of like realistically is like the main like big thing that's like been hanging over my head for a long time. It's like exclusively mine, I guess. But I'm guessing it's gonna be like right around an hour. And if I finish it in good time, like I'm gonna go and like I'll add in some more like little details and stuff as I can. But I'm rearranging some stuff. I was gonna do a thing where I got into like my game collection like halfway through, but I think I'm gonna save that for last because I'm going to use all of my stuff to like show people like some of like my favorite things that I have, like the things I'm most sentimental about, like in my collection, things I like the most. So I figured I'd do like the game collection like last. So it goes like, you know, it's like the overview, and then it gets into like the game setup, and then it gets into like the capture, and then it's gonna gets into the B-roll set, and like that gets into like the video production stuff, and then it's gonna do the game collection, and then I can use like all these things that I've showed you throughout the episode to like showcase this stuff that I like the most.
That makes sense.
There was $2 from Nima Moshiri. Thank you.
Thank you.
And looking forward to all the remaining 2024 games. And there is a lot.
Yes.
There is a lot. Thank you. And there was also $2 from Gimpy Lee. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying, please talk about your recent appearance on GameSack. I was on it. My family stayed with Joe when we went out to Yellowstone in July, and originally we were just going to record something for like just a new the new ending skit. But then he was like, "Oh, do you want to like just co-host an entire episode?" So we recorded all the on-camera stuff when we were there, and then when I got back is like when I was able to like make the reviews and stuff. But it's a lot of fun, and I've thought a lot about how, like, it's how out of practice I am just talking about games, and just about like not like anything technical about them or anything like that, just about playing them, you know. And it made me appreciate the level at which Joe does that, because he's doing like so many in every single episode. So
I love how he always comes up with just some like really throwaway ways to like describe certain mundane things, like the object of the game is to not die.
Yeah. Well, he's not wrong. But I mean, like, I think that, like, doing that, you know, made me interested in doing more stuff like that, like myself.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to.
It's $2 from Demo Kirby saying, so excited to see you pick the Gamera 2000. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's like plenty of stuff that we could have picked that neither of us had played, but I tried to just think of things that I thought that he might like. And it's funny because the Power Wash Simulator, like, I thought for sure that, like, he was not going to like it.
And he said he didn't. And
he didn't, but, you know, that's the whole thing, is like, it's not really about liking it. It's about like, oh, it's just kind of nice to, like,
it's like like Vampire Survivors. You can't put it down, and you feel bad about how much time you put into it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Vampire Survivors more than I like what I've played of Power Wash. I was not able to get into Power Wash.
But I was so unsure, and I bought the copy for Joe. Like, I bought it for him and had it shipped to his house so that, you know, he didn't have to feel like he, like, wasted his money if he ended up not liking it. But now he just, you know, feels like maybe he who just wasted his time, wasted nearly a full day of his life, or over a full day, a day and a half, really, of his entire life on it. But yeah, it was very fun, and I think that it would be fun to do that kind of stuff again. And people seem to really like it. And he released that the review for Iron Meat, and we were sent codes for that. And I Troy missed it. He, like, missed the code that I had sent him. Like, it must have been like a week ago.
Yeah, I just somehow overlooked it.
I was like, oh, you should play that. And he's like, I don't know what that is.
and then I watched Joe's review of it when I was eating dinner.
Yeah, and you're like, oh.
I mean, it does look good. But
yeah,
I already had my heart set on playing this tonight. I love how you can just, like, wail on his weak point when he shoots the fire from his mouth.
Oh, it goes right over your head.
Because it's angled down.
Yeah.
That noise effect is on the lasers is pretty good. N64 noise effects are often, you know, not replicated accurately. Can you look up? I meant to grab the instruction manual before the stream, but I forgot to dig it up. Can you look up, because I'm pretty sure it's in the manual, but it'll be on the internet somewhere, list of button combo commands for Impact and Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, because there's some, like, if you enter, like, the button combo correctly, you can do, like, a crazy powerful, like, beam attack and stuff.
The Impact combos?
Impact. Just look up, like, Impact button commands or something like that from Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. Because I didn't know about it for a long time. And it makes it makes the Impact fights way easier. Because the game doesn't really tell you about it.
Impact is a unique robot. Oh, so is it when you're playing as Impact?
It's when you're playing as Impact. There's like these long button combos that you can enter, and you do, like, a beam attack. And there might be another one, I forget.
The laser mouth?
Yeah, that'd be the. Is it like
C button in a clockwise fashion, then press and hold Z?
Yeah, that'll be coming out somewhat soon.
Let's see here.
I mean, I think one of the great things about this game, you know, at the time that it came out was, you know, Zelda 64 kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed.
Yeah.
And this really was a great stopgap that, you know, most people probably missed, but the people who played it, you know, this was, you know, this was really a pretty pioneering, you know, 3D action adventure in a lot of ways, I think.
You think it's better than Zelda 64?
No, but it probably has the best soundtrack on N64.
So that's better than Zelda 64.
Yes, the soundtrack is better. The soundtrack wouldn't fit Zelda 64 though.
Yeah, I feel like that's like one of my great, like, I guess bad opinions. Like I don't think that Ocarina of Time is that great.
I mean, that's become a popular thing to say.
But I mean, like, I never thought it was, like, I told you like how deflated I was and how like it basically, you know, kind of killed the game for me. And it doesn't have like any when you hit Hyrule Field, it doesn't have the Zelda theme.
I mean, I was definitely very confused.
Like
I was very confused by that for sure. I wouldn't say it hurt my opinion of the game. What hurt my opinion of the game more was, you know, one, I expected more radical differences between past and future, similar to Light World and Dark World. And the other thing, which is not really fair, I guess I would say. I at the time I kind of like had this very mathematical way of judging a Zelda game, and I was like, well, you know, Link to the Past has, you know, I think like something like 11 or 12 or 13 dungeons if you know, depending on what you count.
Yeah.
And, you know, Ocarina of Time has like 9.5, I guess. Or maybe 9 and I don't know. Depends on how you count. But regardless, is this, no, this is not, or wait, is this the right? No, this isn't the right way. Or wait, is it? Is this the right way?
While you're thinking about this, Gimpy Lee with another $5. Thank you. Saying, did you purposely mess up lines to get more slaps on Joe? Joe's impersonation of Try is great. Also, MLiG on Concord when? So in order of questions, no, I did not mess up on purpose. There's times where I hit him too hard. But although like out of all the outtakes, my favorite one is like when he reacted. I was like, I didn't even I didn't hit you at all. Like I didn't like make contact at all.
No, I don't think there's another path here. I thought there might be.
Joe's impersonation of Try is very popular among like a certain set of people.
Yes.
I think. That it's like not even that close.
No, but at the same time, you know where he's coming from.
Yeah. And are we gonna do an episode on Concord? And no. I mean, that was never gonna happen, even if it was the most popular game in the world.
Yeah.
And there was also Pongo P was asking if I'm a huge fan of any of the 3D Zeldas. And I loved Breath of the Wild, and I really, really liked Tears of the Kingdom. And I like Twilight Princess. I played that one. Got it on GameCube because I didn't buy the Wii day one. because I was like kind of out of games at that point, but I wanted to play. I didn't really care for Wind Waker that much.
Really?
I mean, I just like it's just the sailing.
See,
And the sailing at the time like kind of killed it for me.
See, I did for a lot of
really
people,
like visually.
But for me, it did for a lot of people, but for me, I just found it very relaxing. And I love like that was
for a long time.
That was when I kind of accepted that like the original Zelda theme just wasn't going to be in every game. And part of it too that helped me come to terms with that was that Majora's Mask is a contender for my favorite Zelda game. Mm-hmm. But it's rendition.
I've not played all the way through.
Its rendition of the overworld theme, it's not that good, I think. Maybe a little bad. It kind of made me feel like, you know, this theme doesn't really fit in this sort of weird and strange world. And it made that combined with how good the Wind Waker sailing overworld music is, which is really good, like made me okay with like, okay, not every game is going to have that theme. And that makes it, when it does come back, it's kind of special, right? I became okay with subsequent games kind of doing their own thing with a similar but different theme. Also, I saw Mode 7 Perspective say, bro, have you played this game before? I mean, many times, but I always found the layout of that opening town to be very confusing.
Yeah.
Oops.
What I'll probably do is maybe I'll put Majora's Mask on my game goals for next year.
Ooh.
Which I think that, didn't we discuss about like how we think we might only do 5?
I think we should only do 5 until we catch up, and then consider whether
yeah,
whether we want to do 10 again or 5 is nice.
Yeah, you know, part of me was like almost tempted to do something where like I'm saying I'm going to play 5 Yakuza games this year.
Wow.
And like get like caught up or something like that.
You have that much to catch up on still?
I got 5, 6, and 8, and
but
then,
those are already on your list,
and
aren't
0.
They? So
and
I thought 5 and 6 were already on your pledges.
No.
Wow, I never saw that weird like frog robot thing on top of the house. I guess that's what resolution does for you. Okay, so the impact fight is coming up. What was that button combo again?
It's like if you let's see, the laser mouth is if you press the C buttons in a clockwise fashion, then press and hold Z.
What
to
button
shoot
do you
it,
start?
your laser gauge must be flashing rainbow colors. There's a super punch, which is like, or there's a punch kick combo, which is BBBA. But I think that, like, you know, I will consider like the previous 2 years pledge games, but I don't feel like there's going to be several games I think that are on my pledge list that I played, but I didn't finish, and I've decided that I'm okay with that. You know, like I guess we never specifically say, oh, we need to play this and finish it, because like I don't know, like my life is slowly dwindling.
So I am expecting the HUD to be messed up in widescreen here. So let's see what happens.
But someone was asking me, I think I put Majora's Mask on my list though for next year. I think that's a good one to put on there. Was asking me to rank the 3D Zeldas. So we just talking like, we talking about Ocarina, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and then Breath of the Wild. Is there one in between that I'm missing?
Wait, what are you talking about? Console Zeldas?
Oh, Skyward Sword, right? Skyward Sword.
Well, Ocarina, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess.
Yeah, someone's
Skyward
asking
Sword.
if we could rank like the 3D Zeldas, like the mainline ones. So we got Ocarina, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess,
Skyward Sword,
and then Breath of the Wild, and Tears.
I mean, I think it would be more interesting to not include Breath of the Wild and Tears because they're so different. They kind of defy ranking alongside those. Like I would say.
And can I say Ocarina? Is that wrong?
What?
Someone's asking if I can
Oh,
say
well,
Ocarina again. So,
I always used to say I always used to say Ocarina, and then, then I heard people saying Ocarina, and now I feel like one or the other just pops out of my mouth. I don't really have a set way of saying it.
Yeah.
I honestly am not 100% sure what's correct and don't super care.
Yeah, I've always said Ocarina.
I always said Ocarina back in the day, but I suspect Ocarina is more correct. Wow, look at this. This is kind of funny to see. That's interesting how they're doing that.
Joshua Eicher has been a member for 19 months.
Yep.
Happy Sunday. Glad to see I got here just in time for the mecha portion. Goemon 64 is a wild ride. It does look pretty sweet, I gotta say. I feel like this is an expensive game though now. So, okay, if we get rid of Breath of the Wild and Tears, then we got like rank 1 to 5. I can't rank Majora's Mask because I haven't played it.
I would probably say Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Ocarina, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword.
I'm probably gonna say Twilight Princess.
That rainbow that button combo isn't working. What? Does it matter which?
If your thing is the rainbow is like flashing.
Yeah, it is. What's the order? What's the exact order?
I'm assuming you start from up. So if it's just clockwise, like up, right, down, left, up.
It's not. Oh wait. Well, I did it, but I screwed up.
I mean, I'm gonna say Twilight Princess is number 1, and then everything else is like tied for last. Is that okay? Is that an okay way to do it? Because
I think
I don't know. Like out of all those, like I guess Ocarina is the only one that I played through more than once, because I played it on 3DS. But realistically, the chances of me sitting down and devoting time to play through any of those games again, anytime soon, if ever, is probably pretty low. Link to the Past is easily my number 1 also, but Breath of the Wild is a close number 2. But I mean, I played Link to the Past when it was new, and it was the first Zelda game that I'd actually played all the way through, and I thought it was really great, and it was great just figuring it out on my own because I didn't have an internet to look anything up on, and just that's one of my favorite things to do in games like that. And one of the things I liked about Super Metroid a whole bunch is just, you know, getting powerful enough that you just kind of wander around the world and see what you find. And you find some stuff that, you know, is pretty cool. And that's what I like that in Super Metroid. And it seems like nowadays, like in most Metroidvanias, like that has been, it's like no longer as exciting as it was, just to see what you find.
Yeah.
But I guess if I had to rank them, I guess I would probably put Ocarina as number 2. And then probably Wind Waker, then Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword just, at the time, it felt like way too long for what it was.
And you like
killing those little toes on that thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're just revisiting the same places again and again and again and again and again.
And it's like you know, and I know that this is like this, and because it's like one of the same people involved as Minish Cap, but about how like the overworld just getting to the dungeon was its own dungeon-esque.
Well, but then
puzzle.
weirdly enough, that same guy is the director of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Like, clearly Aonuma like told him like, look, your style isn't working out. And yet for some reason he got the job of director.
Yeah. Oh, is that the title drop right there?
Well, they do that at the end of each impact fight. Just kind of like I think it's meant to be like a anime break to commercial or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Zelda 2 is underrated now. Like, having, you know, played it and finished it, you know, not like recently, but like after getting it like like after Link to the Past, I guess. I just think it's pretty neat, and I think it's pretty interesting just how willing like a lot of NES developers were to rethink everything for like a follow-up to a popular game.
Mm-hmm.
Like right from the start, you know, like let's do something like really different. I think that's impressive. But then it makes you wonder, like, I wonder if like 3 would have been as good if people were like, oh, we don't really like what you did with Zelda 2. So they went back with 3 to make it like a much improved version of 1.
Right. Like a perfected version of what they wanted to do with 1.
Yeah. There's $2 Canadian from Tilb Toast.
Oh, thank you.
And love y'all, great stream. Hitting us with the L word.
You know, I completely forgot. Yai just joined the party, and I've completely neglected to like even, you know, I've had Ebisumaru with me this whole time. I've neglected to switch to him when we can see his great crawling animation.
Yeah.
Look at
inchworm.
Look at this dog here.
Oh.
How would you rate this dog versus the Lightning Returns dog? Look at that.
Both of them are not nearly as good as the Ace Combat 7 dog.
No.
I mean, I'd go on a limb and say that the Ace Combat 7 dog is the best dog in video games?
I don't know. I think I got, well, the real, the serious answer to that is Missile from Ghost Trick. The less serious answer is,
Ace Combat 7 dog.
no, the less serious answer is the Lightning Returns. And then maybe Ace Combat 7. I can't fully vote on that since I haven't played, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know
mean,
what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like, you've seen the screenshot of the dog. You've seen everything that there is to see of that dog. Its entire context has been it can be summed up in one screenshot.
Oh wait, I thought. Do I have to?
Oh,
talk,
the D dog from MGS5. I forgot about the D dog.
I was pretty sure that was what I was supposed to do next, but maybe I have to. Maybe I have to talk to the gate guard first. I forget what the order of events here is.
Kaylee Gamer says that Joe Musashi would be disappointed. Not if
I don't think this is.
What if I had only played the Master System version of Shadow Dancer, which is a port of the arcade game, but does not have the dog in it. It's amazing to me. Like, I didn't even know if that existed until like fairly recently. Because, you know, the Genesis version is totally different from the arcade, but the Master System version is based on the arcade, but they just like remove the dog.
Look how Yae's hair has like its own, like each piece of her hair has its own circle shadow. It's kind of funny. I never noticed on N64. I wonder if it's not as noticeable. Okay, what do I
wonder if you could, if anybody online is selling a life-sized cardboard printout of the dog.
Oh,
Ace Combat 7. It's got to exist, right?
Would you buy one?
I would totally buy that and just like have it in the background of every single episode. If it exists, if it's like life-sized.
Okay, here we go. I think
I would absolutely. And it was like cardboard.
Does anyone know if I can now talk to the fish guy or if I have to talk to someone else first?
It's just apparently that dog online is referred to as the JPEG dog.
Oh, I feel like
Combat JPEG dog.
I mean, I feel like just
JPG dog.
I feel like just calling it the Ace Combat 7 dog is a little more, gives him a little more of the prestige that he deserves.
Yeah. There's $5 Canadian from Buddy Scotch. Thank you. Saying PVM hunting half update. Still no luck. However, I did find an absolutely massive brown Sony Trinitron in my university's anthropology department. That's brown.
That is intriguing.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Okay, I can't talk to this person now. But yeah, I mean,
one day your hunting will come to an end and you'll miss it.
But yeah, I mean, I wish I had like a good consumer Sony Trinitron. Like I've got a really wait, I wasn't paying attention. What he wants me to get a certain color of fish. Wait.
There was also $5
Oof.
from Dad1153 asking, in 64 games, you'd recompile, upgrade frame rate with an updated unofficial PC port like this one. Me, Wave Race 64, still rules. Pilot Wing 64 and Tetris Sphere. What do you think deserves the recompile treatment?
Man, those are all really good suggestions. I mean, Wave Race 64 is still such an incredible game. Like I almost feel like a recompiled version would probably break the visuals too much. But maybe not.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see. Pilot Wing 64 would be a great one as well. I mean, I'd love to see Quest 64. I think that would be just a neat thing to see, almost as just like a statement of like, you know, we're going all the way on this stuff, right? Like you know, it's not a popular game, but I'd love to see someone put into effort to it. You know, I mean, it's not like this is the most popular game ever either. But it, you know, it definitely has its following. I mean, it's one of the more popular third-party games for the system, I would say, or at least one of the more fondly loved.
Have you been doing that thing where you said you're going to record a N64 game like every day or something like that?
That hasn't manifested as the intent.
You were saying that you'd be able to do a video about like 100 N64 third-party games worth playing.
No, it was going to be 64. I could make it 100, but I just want it to be 64 for the wordplay.
Because after last episode, you're like, I think I'm going to do.
Well, yeah. Oh, I know what I said I would do, and I have not settled into that routine yet. But once I do start that, if I can stay consistent on it, like I should have enough games and like, you know, assuming there's some days that, you know, what?
64 days.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't count on it being as perfectly consistent, but you know, roughly like 2.5 months once I start doing that. I mean, I don't expect it to be a video that I'm going to, you know, have out this year, but it's definitely something that, you know, is a priority I want to begin the process of working toward.
Use 6 + 4 to make it easier on yourself, so only 10. That would probably be
no,
like an accurate number.
No, because I'm trying to make a statement that there's like way more good third-party N64 games than people are willing to admit.
64 of them?
Yeah, and there's more than that.
Okay.
There are.
I feel like maybe to an extent, like if you're just playing them for a few minutes, they're worth playing.
I mean, you know, I'm not going to pretend like the list is going to be full of like, you know, all-time classics or anything, but
yeah,
I mean, it will be. Well, I take that back. It will be full of them, but they won't 100% be that. But still, like, worth playing. You know?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, ideally, you know, 2.5 months, you could do it.
Yeah.
You know?
So maybe it'll be an early video next year. We'll see.
Well, we'll see. I feel like the sky is the limit once this tour video is done. I never want to. I'm gonna tell you all right now. This is the last tour video I'm ever gonna do. It's just I can't imagine. The only way I'd ever do one again is if I move or something like that again, and I don't plan on moving. Because if the setup's going to change, at this point, it's only going to get simpler and less exciting. So once this is done, it's probably the last time I'm gonna do it. It's okay. It's okay. I'm viewing it as like this is the last time I'll be doing one of these. Like I might do updates, but like not as like full on videos or anything. Catastrophe says there's 100 good PS1 games per one N64 game. Changed my mind. I think that's a correct assessment.
No, that is not the correct assessment.
It's the correct assessment.
So you're downplaying my video before it even exists.
For one N64 game. So I'm am I saying that I need to make like 600? No, it's like there's not even that many games on the system.
There's a lot of bad PS1 games. Yeah, I mean, first of all, yeah, there's not enough games on the system to do that. But still, like,
so am I
like,
supposed
like
to play,
here's the thing, like
make
people
a video
laugh.
called 6,400 or play PS4 or PS1 games worth playing, third-party PS1 games worth playing, 6,400.
Like, there's not enough. If you were to take all the N64 games that I would consider good, you might struggle to say that. You would struggle to pick 100 good PS1 games from that number.
I don't know. Almost every
Because
like
I'm talking about
PS1 games
64. I'm talking
third-party.
about 64 third-party N64 games worth playing. Doesn't count Nintendo. Doesn't count
right
Rare. So we're talking. You're gonna have to be coming up with a list of like around 800. And here's the thing. This list, no matter how many games I picked that I consider worth playing, there's going to be games that are, well lauded by a certain crowd. And they're going to be, oh, I can't believe you didn't include this one. So there are a lot, really. And people are underestimating it. I mean, think about it. How many games, people laugh like, oh, N64 only has so many games, but like, how many games does a system really need to have to be worthwhile? Like, okay, N64 only has like, what is it like? I don't even know off the top of my head. 200 some, 300 some, 400 some games? I don't actually know. Because I don't really care how many it has. Like if I could name, a quarter of the games that I propose listing, like the system would still be worthwhile.
Yeah. Well, Zach says for every 5 good PS1 games, you get one N64 game. Would you agree with that? There's 5 good PS1 games worth playing versus like for every.
But I mean, you were just talking about Secret of Mana or Visions of Mana. You're like, oh, it's a solid 6.5, and how that should still be considered a good game.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, it's completely average and a good time. But if I do see though, while people like who play a lot of games would be like, oh, you know, like my free time is way too precious to be playing stuff like this. And I get that. You know, what I think that people who play a lot of games, you know, like are more receptive to playing stuff that are not like
interesting.
the biggest, bestest thing of the year every year.
Yeah, well, but you know, also
I mean,
look,
like
I
having a
know
bag of
I know
Cheetos.
I'm not likely to be changing any minds with this N64 video, but
Yeah.
you know, the fact of the matter is, like, there's some people who are just into the vibe of N64 games. You know?
Yeah.
I don't remember if there's something valuable.
It's not my vibe. But PS1, you know, like I feel like as time goes on, that PS1, man, it slowly works its way to perhaps being my favorite system of all time. Like the more I think about it, the more I feel like it might be my favorite system. And I feel like just because there's so much stuff that I don't know about on it. And there's plenty on other systems and stuff, like on the Genesis and Super NES, but I just feel like there is such a wide array of like weird things, but like awesome things and just like experimental things.
I mean, I feel the same way about like the
NES.
I feel like the NES and the PS2 are, you know, that for me, like just in terms of just like exploring random games in the library, I feel like I get more out of, I'd say I get more out of PS2 than PS1. I don't think that.
Interesting. I mean, I could understand that, but like I don't know. It's harder for me to like feel that way about the. I just like really like the look of PS1 games versus like even PS2. I see that Video Game Obsession is asking about the PlayStation 30th anniversary PS5 systems or the DualSense.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I like, you know, when the Pro was announced, I was like, no, I just don't feel like I need to. It's like I can't justify it. But then, I mean, it's like they saw that reaction, and they're like, oh well, let's see what we can get them to change their mind. And then they announced the thing, and like immediately I was like, oh shit. Like, and you know, and it's like that's like sending the wrong message. That is sending the wrong message, but like I don't know, there's something about like the look of it, and I was like, man, and I said, you know what, I will try to get one, and if I get one, like I will get it.
But I
if I
almost
don't
feel
get
like
one,
I would.
I am not getting a Pro. I'm not getting a regular Pro until like I'm like, for me personally, I'm going to wait until like maybe the final revision of it, like I did with the PS4 Pro, where it's just like isn't like a jet engine and it doesn't have like any real problems.
Yeah.
That like, you know, like the later systems or the earlier systems have.
Yeah. I mean,
so I will try to get one, and if not, like I'm just gonna get like a couple of those DualSense controllers.
Right. Like I mean, here, like I almost feel like. I mean, for one, it's obnoxious they haven't said how much any of that is going to cost.
Yes.
And you know, depending on the price, I would almost feel embarrassed for getting one. I mean, if the value of the package is, you know, similar to the value of those things sold individually, you know, I won't really mind. What what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to get it. I don't know if I'll be able to because I actually have a doctor's appointment that day. So who knows? It could probably goes live right when I'm there. Oh, I just remembered what I have to do. I remember this is always a weird part because you have to go. I think you have to go to the tourist travel thing, which is like not the standard use for that.
You know, I wish they just do. Honestly, it would make it so much easier if they just sold the gray
Faceplates. Well,
Like,
I mean
like, on
the center part is gray as well, but
that's fine though. I don't care.
I would be happy with that as well.
I would get the plates and just stop like put them in the closet till eventually.
Yeah,
I got a system.
Well, what I will do, I will try to get the bundle unless it's just like way more than the value of the included items. But here's the thing. I do not want to spend money on a DualSense Edge. I have zero interest in it. So,
but you know, don't knock it till you try it. Maybe you'd actually like it. And the thing is that it's repairable. Like you can open it up easily, and it's probably the most future-proof out of all that stuff. Because can you even like swap out the sticks in it?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, my feeling is that I would be happy selling the DualSense Edge to someone, you know, to offset the cost of the, of how expensive the whole bundle will be. I mean, not try to make a profit off of it, just like sell it for what a DualSense Edge is worth, right?
Yeah. Okay. So Brandon Smith is saying you can swap sticks on a DualSense Edge like that. In a way, though, like that's kind of a nice way to, like to be able to repair it on your own or get replacement sticks. Like that's kind of a good thing to have for the future. Like that means it's like it is like the most like future-proof version.
I mean, I don't know that much about the insides of a DualSense. Why couldn't you replace those with something? A regular DualSense.
Well, I mean, you can, but it's probably, I think that it's not made to be like opened up in the pieces or.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll change my mind, but it doesn't really interest me that much. I mean, if I can't get the Pro bundle, I won't be disappointed if I'll maybe be a hair disappointed, but not very disappointed if I don't get the Pro bundle. But I would be disappointed if I can't at least get a standard DualSense in the PS1 colors. Because I
can't imagine they'll have any limit on the PS1 controller.
Well, they'll probably have some degree of limit. But.
Yeah, but I think that's going to be something where people can still get it. I'll probably buy two of them probably. To save one for later, but also have one as like my would replace my purple one, which is like my daily driver.
Well, wait, does she not have her bazooka?
Okay, so replacing the DualSense joysticks modules is fairly difficult. Requires desoldering skills.
Oops.
You can desolder or replace the sticks in ordinary DualSense controllers, but the controllers will still be calibrated for the original sticks. With the Edge, you can just like pull them out, right? So why have they not come out with like Hall effect versions of those? I wonder.
Well, regardless, like that's the main thing I want. Like the 20th anniversary DualShock 4 is like still my main DualShock 4. Yeah. I love that, and it's even more, I would say important for the PlayStation 5 in a way, because they went to the just the boring white button labels, right? So, the DualShock 4 still had, at least it had colored buttons, so it's so stupid that it's just black and white buttons now. Like, literally makes it harder to communicate, like, what button to press by making them less distinguished,
Perhaps, yes. But also, like it standardizes it for people that maybe have, like, color blindness.
Yeah, I guess it, like, perhaps it forces developers to use the icons in a way that, is kind of universal. But still, I wish they could do it in that way and use the colors. The colors were fun,
Mm-hmm.
But,
well, I mean, we'll see what happens. Like, I will try to get that bundle. But now, like, I'm kind of thinking about it. I'm like, well, maybe I could see myself getting a DualSense Edge, especially if they're, like, the sticks are replaceable. Like, that just seems like something that will last, like, a heck of a lot longer than potentially a normal DualSense would. If I can't get the bundle, like, maybe I'll buy a DualSense Edge and a regular.
I was looking at the pictures of the 30th anniversary DualSense Edge, and like the center part of the controller, like where your hands don't really touch, looked glossy. I assume that there's no glossy parts like where you touch, but like I really hate how the top of the Astrobot controller, like the handles of the Astrobot controller, are glossy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm really
I didn't even open
disappointed.
mine.
Like I don't have any interest in using it at all because I just don't like how it feels to hold with the glossy handles.
Mm.
So I don't think the parts where you touch on the DualSense Edge are going to be glossy, but I'm not positive. Like the center part definitely looked glossy, and it was not that way on the 30th anniversary standard DualSense.
Yeah, well, look at the controller. It's like only like the inside. I guess it's just like where it's like normally matte black. I don't know. That doesn't. We'll see what happens. Like I will try to get that bundle, but if not, like I don't see any reason for me to get a Pro outside of that. At least. I would rather wait until like they have like already done the like whatever revisions they're gonna do to it. And get something like towards the end.
I'm going to get it. I'm going to try to pre-order a version of it. We'll see what happens with the bundle, but
Mm-hmm. Oh, so the replacement sticks for the Edge are like hard to get. But other people can make them at least. There was $5 from EB Chill 2 with no message, but thank you.
Thank you.
And also $4.99 from our friend Scott Davis.
Thank you.
Thank you. Saying chat of the button colors. You all remember the Batman Arkham Knight puzzle with the Stroop effect gimmick. You need the colors to make it work.
I've actually not played Arkham Knight.
Me either. I played that first tank battle.
I wonder though how they, because they ported that. I believe it was not a very good port, but they ported that to Switch recently, which does not have button colors.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even realize that. Like, only with PS5 have they gotten rid of the colors.
Right. Like in my mind, I thought that they did that on PS4 as well, but I was looking just the other day and I'm like, oh yeah, the other ones do have, because I'm so used to using the 20th anniversary controller.
Oh. I'm sorry about that. Do I not see it? Oh, okay. Sorry about that, Chris. I missed it. Sorry about that. We got into like talking about the N64 games with things. There was 25 minutes ago, Chris Fratz had a $5 super chat. Sorry about that. Saying taking a small break from homework. How's the recomp holding up?
Really well so far. I mean, no major issues. I mean, yeah, there's things where, you know, the framing of the scene doesn't work with the widescreen, but that's kind of to be expected. Like I said earlier, like if I were to like actually play through this like outside of a stream, I would probably use, you know, 240p with downsampling and how does this work? I think I'm supposed to like donate a bunch of money here. Yeah, there's some things where, but I think it's fun to do this for the stream, but for my own purposes, I would not use the expanded field of view.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, you know, this is only version 2. Or excuse me, 0.0.2. So yeah, I'm impressed, and also how easy it was to do this, to get this going as well. Like the only thing is like the only problem with this is there's not really like a web page or anything that's unified around this project. So that would be nice. And like just like a README file that like says like, hey, you need like that Microsoft C++ redistributable. Here's the link. Like I had to find that information elsewhere. So if they would, do something like that was the only challenge was needing to learn that I had to have that. Otherwise, like I just load the ROM and it worked. So yeah, it actually makes me significantly more interested. I mean, I was already pre-interested, but I was afraid it was going to be a pain in the butt, like to use some of the other recompilations. But yeah, I'm really interested in it now. If it's a very similar sort of system and setup. I really want to try the Majora's Mask one. I'll probably stream it sometime.
There's also $2 for love of the game. Thank you. Saying Gradius 5's music sucks so much compared to Gaiden. I mean, I would say it's not as good. I wouldn't say that Gradius 5's music sucks. It has its moments, for sure. But the Gaiden soundtrack is really good. I've used music from those games in multiple videos. From that game. Or both of them, actually, really. We both got little boxes, or big boxes, really, from Scott Davis, who was like cleaning out a storage unit. And was going to take some stuff down to like donate at Goodwill. It was like, hey, you guys want any of this stuff?
Some useful controllers and stuff. I actually only had one good original Xbox controller, so that was much appreciated. Way to get some more.
I'm pretty excited about finally getting a chance to try out.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm pretty excited about, having a chance to try out finally.
No.
It kind of looks like a syringe, doesn't it?
It's that's a thing. I remember back in the day, one of my friends would charge up because right before this village you get the charged money shot thing. And I can't remember how he would get the camera. He would like try to get the camera like behind the character. I can't really do it right now. And then he would like get on the ground, make a flaming fart come out of the NPCs.
Oh, I see.
We thought it was fun.
That doesn't look like that's all he's doing. The charged money shot.
I mean, it is what it is, you know.
It is what it is. Get him an Abe Lincoln hat. Yeah, the Abe Lincoln charged money shot. It's for all you old school Conan O'Brien fans.
Man,
Video Game
I
Obsession
always
saying,
get so
which
turned around the
physical-
villages in this game. Huh?
Video Game Obsession is asking about Iron Meat. Which physical copy should I be buying? Play Asia, Video Games Plus, or strictly limited games? I never know the best price or versions these days. As I understand, I ended up ordering it from Strictly Limited because they actually have it in stock and are shipping it right now.
Oh, really? Usually you have to wait a pretty long time with them.
Oh my! Strictly Limited is like, I don't know. My favorite part is when they like make big posts on their Instagram saying these games, when a game is now in production, that like, I don't know, like people ordered like multiple years ago. Like, you know, I almost feel like it's almost better just to just keep it quiet and ship it when it's ready instead of being like now in production. It's like, okay, you know, that's what happened with the Rays collection, where it was like over 2 years ago. I didn't realize that so many other people were offering it though.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't worry too much about which version. I imagine they're all the same, and you know, would have all the same like languages and stuff.
Yeah. Are you feeling any like lag or anything like that with that controller?
No. Although I am using Bluetooth, which you know I didn't want to do, but what I was reading was like you can't use this controller wired. I don't know if that applies to other Switch Online controllers. I always use them wired with Mister. I use them constantly with Mister. Like my main Mister controller is the Super Nintendo style Switch Online controller, which I think, you know, has more lag than other options, you know, even wired, but I just really like the feel of that controller, so I've certainly not had any problems.
Yeah. Bluetooth. I feel like a competitor for Bluetooth should come out and call it Bluetooth. That'd be very funny. Oh, is the operation in Galuga like physical shipping? Apparently, the Switch version is not the greatest version of it. I don't know when that's going to ship out.
Okay, I think I gotta get back to Zazentown and then get Ebisu Mario's Magic.
Yeah, call it Red Tooth. Bluetooth. Yeah. I call it Bloobtooth. Bloobtooth.
I expected to have more. I actually used the Bluetooth dongle that I used to use with Mister, but I always had just like so much trouble with it on Mister that I didn't expect it to work so well on PC here. It may have been because like at a certain up until a certain point, I was using the power supply it came with the DE10 Nano, which, you know, I didn't realize at the time was causes problems, you know, with certain devices, or if you're trying to use a bunch of controllers or something. And you know, I don't know if that was the issue. I don't think I tried Bluetooth on Mister after I figured that out. But I don't know. It always seemed to cause problems for me. So anyway, so I didn't think it would be so easy to get this working on here, but it was.
Pongo P is asking, saying, I play E-rated games exclusively. Is there a way for me to see full lists of E-rated games on any console? You might be able to go like on Wikipedia. They might have a like part of like if you look at like all games for a console, you might be able to sort them by their rating.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't forget to include KA, the old KA.
Yeah.
It's so crazy to me. Like at the time that ESRB came about, like it seemed like KA was such an established thing for so long, and then
Oz and the Maz.
And then it was really only around for like 3 years. And it's been E ever since. And then they added E10. But I remember when Yoshi's Island came out, which was the first E-rated game I was aware of. And
Wait, what was?
Yoshi's Story. I thought I might have said Yoshi's Island. I mean, the first game with a rating I ever had was Donkey Kong Country, which was KA, of course. But then I remember kids at school being like, "Whoa, Yoshi's Story, that's so kiddie. It's not even KA, it's for everyone." And I'm like, guys, it's the same thing. It's just replacing KA.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. I don't know. I kind of miss KA. I feel like...
It's easier, though. Just like having an E on there is just easy.
I guess, but it also, like... I feel like saying kids to adults, like, removes the stigma of, like, oh, well, this game is just for kids. It's not for adults. You know, like, everyone, sure, that technically includes...
everyone.
That includes kids and adults, but... people...
The only acceptable way is to say E for everyone. Is you got to say everyone, like Gary Oldman in The Professional, and Leon the Professional. Like that's the only acceptable way to. But you've seen him say, like bring everyone. Ooh, everyone. Like I feel like that's the only acceptable way to look at the E for everyone rating and hear that.
Oops. I don't quite remember where this...
That's $5 from Nana Cheesecake.
Oh, well, thank you.
Saying, aren't recompiles one of the coolest things? I got nothing silly this time, so happy Sunday. They are pretty neat. And from what I understand, like that's a lot of what M2 did with the Castlevania Dominus. What is it? Dominus? Yeah, the collection that came out. Because Dominus starts with D and ends with S.
Oh, I never.
You never get that. I mean, like that's also like in the games apparently. Like Dominus is in the games, but I think that's why they call it that.
Right. Oh, I think
So, I mean,
Mario to do this. Yeah.
That's how they're able to like get it running so good.
Wait a second. Oh, I remember what I have to do. It's the fish guy. I have to talk to him first.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, it's like, you know, there's a lot of times where I feel like, you know, like M2's work, like they got a whole bunch of stuff. They did a whole bunch of stuff these last like 5 years.
I see.
And sometimes it might not have like the level of polish as some of their earlier stuff had, but I feel like they are constantly like still like just they it might not have the level of polish, but they never like half-ass anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they just it feels like they're always trying to challenge themselves to like achieve the best thing that they can. Or do it the best way that they possibly can. And sometimes, you know, like it might be like, you know, you know, they did not have interpolation in there for a long time. Is that supposed to happen like that?
Yes.
You turn real little? Okay.
Yeah. I forgot the order of events, but yeah, you have to talk to him, and then you can go inside this temple where you learn Ebisu Maru's magic. Each character has unique magic, and Ebisu Maru's is to shrink. Alright, it's not this one. That's one thing I'll say about this game. Town layouts are always a little confusing.
The only like major complaint that I have about M2 these days is the fact that, and I talked about it in that one in the most recent collections video, is about how like turning off the background just like makes it a gray gradient, which is like not off. I'm sorry, but that's like, you might call it as like, they call it off, but it's like, that's not off. If it was off, there would be nothing there.
I have no idea what this character that opens the cabinet is supposed to be. Like, it looks like Ziggy.
Ziggy.
You know, like that old comic character that no one cares about.
I was just informed that the new Garfield movie, the animated Garfield movie, is on Netflix.
Okay.
Just letting you know.
Oh crap! Oh, screwed up.
Yeah, I always think of like Ziggy as the computer from Quantum Leap. Why does Sega M2 only release Sega Ages games for the Switch? They have a deal worked out with Nintendo or something. That's a good question, but I wonder. I don't know. Like, they probably just decided at one point that that's what they wanted to focus on. I would not give for a compilation of like all those on one cartridge. Can you imagine that? It kills me that there's like just nothing.
Yeah.
No physical versions of those, and they could put them all on like one cartridge if they wanted to, and it would probably sell like crazy.
I mean, I think for Japan, like that's where the market is. I think people way overestimate the deals, the exclusivity deals that are happening. Like, yes, there is some of it, but I kind of feel like there's less of it is so secretive as people tend to think. Like,
yeah,
well, they're up to something. They're keeping this out of this group's hands for their own nefarious purposes. Like, I don't think that stuff happens.
Yeah.
to the scale or necessarily for the reasons people think.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a level of everything. I am just like I think that there's a lot of people out there like overthinking video games in general. I think at this point, like so much stuff in the industry, just like really getting super invested in like certain aspects. Just like thinking about it way more.
I mean, we probably did when we were younger too, you know?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff is not. It's not younger people. There was $5 from just another person saying your puppy is glorious.
Oh,
Requesting extra scritches. There's scritches.
giving
Also,
scritches.
you've actually gotten further than 7-year-old me was able to back in the day on this.
So
Thank you.
You never heard the term scritches?
No.
It's just like, you know, giving pets.
Oh. I've never
Or
heard that
it's
word in
like,
my life.
or you know, it's. I mean, it's pets, but like, I guess, like, you know, like scritches are like I guess like little scratches like behind the ear or something like that. Like, you know, where you give little scratching.
I mean, like sales figures discussions. Yeah, I mean that's one of them. I mean,
You know what? Like
minor alterations, changes from like regions. I don't know. Like I barely care to like think about it.
yeah, I mean,
I just
like,
think that, like a lot of people like think like really like get super invested in these like little changes.
like
or-
my view is it's like it's not my job to worry about how much games are selling.
Yeah.
If I was in charge of marketing at a game company, then it would be, but I ain't. So not my problem.
Yeah. Or like straight translations versus like localizations.
Oh gosh, I mean that's
that's like a whole thing. That's like a whole thing I can't even.
That's such a thorny and obnoxious.
I know,
issue.
and it's just like, and like I can like say as somebody who plays a lot of video games, loves video games, like I just don't care. I will I'm just gonna play what I'm given, and I'm not gonna like, or what the developer has chosen to do.
I mean, you played E7 with that really, or excuse me, 8 with that really.
Yeah, and like sure, it wasn't like that was like probably closer to just a straight translation versus like a localization.
Yeah, I mean, you played it and you still enjoyed the game, you know, like whatever.
I totally enjoyed the game, and I saw the stuff. I'm like, wow, this like doesn't like do anything. Like it's just doesn't make a lot of sense. But I can follow it enough that it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I just
people are very concerned with things that games have done through all of their history, and they act like it doesn't apply to the games that they grew up with. And it's like, look, these things and considerations, and all of these things that like yes, it's on a different scale than it used to be in terms of like the companies are bigger, they're more corporate or whatever, but like people act like some of this stuff is new, and it's not. It's like it's always been this way. Just enjoy it.
Yep, I'm just gonna play what I want, and I don't. Something's been changed.
That is not my fight.
Victor Ireland is not my arch nemesis. I mean, as someone who enjoyed.
Oh yeah, Victor Ireland. his approach, you know, it would there would be so much discussion about it today, and it's like, and there was even
but I
back
mean,
then, but like, you know, it's like,
and it's not for everybody, but it's like of a time that
yeah,
I think
don't-
that somebody
I
had
don't
to
love
do
the
that, so they
Dragon's translation,
like someone
but still.
could like look at that and be like, okay, so there's like on one end, there's just like doing like the bare like nothing. Like I look at
Yeah.
something like Wild Arms 2
Yeah,
as like a terrible translation, right? Where it's just like it's not localized at all. It's just like feels like straight just like vomited out there.
yeah,
It's like one extreme, and then like any like working designs game would be the other extreme.
right.
And it's like really what you got to do is you learn from both of those. You figure out what works.
Right.
One of them, like they both have to be done so that we understand like what probably isn't like the best way to do it.
Right.
You know. And I mean, you said it like really well. I felt like, even though like the translation and stuff in like Lunar and everything like that never bothered me, but you said, you know, like this, someone needed to do this so that later developers could figure out like, okay, so that's not how we want to do this,
Right.
and that's fine. I think that's a good. That's good. I'm sure that, I mean, Victor Island could look back at some of these games and be like, okay, like perhaps I've gone a bit too. I went a bit too far here,
Right.
or something, you know.
But like for your own nostalgia, you'd love to see him translate a game in that style again today, right? It depends on what.
I mean, it does not have to have pop culture references or anything like that in there. But I think that, like, outside of like pop culture references, I think that the translations are totally fine.
Yeah, I mean they can sometimes take a slightly obnoxious tone,
But they give like, you know, like it gives the characters like their own personalities.
right, and it was, you know, in a way that wasn't really done at the time. Okay,
Right.
I guess I can. Get big in
Netflix
this
used to be awesome. $7.99 a month for unlimited screens. See Netflix Max on PS3, watching Friends with 360. What happened? You know, it's funny because I just found out that. So I had like a bundle of Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, which is not something I've ever used, like through my phone plan. It was, and I got an email saying like, oh, it's being the price for this is increasing to $18.99 for like whatever, like going forward. And immediately I looked and said, okay, I don't want that because I'm not even using the ESPN anyways. And then I looked online and saw there's like a thing that replaces ESPN with HBO Max, and it's like $2 less
I thought I could.
than that. So it's like HBO Max, Hulu, and Disney Plus for $16.99.
Through what?
So I promptly canceled that and then got that bundle.
Wait, you're getting that through what?
I had a bundle through my phone company, and through Verizon. It was part of like my cell phone plan, where I got Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus.
But now you're getting Netflix as part of that?
No, I'm getting HBO Max instead of.
Oh, I thought you said Netflix was part of it.
No. Netflix was like the beginning of the conversation.
Oh.
But it's $2 less
I'm
than
gonna
it
go to
would
the
be
bathroom
for.
real quick.
But that's like, and they're both like ad supported, whatever, and that's like, it doesn't really bother me. But my son like has been really wanting to get Crunchyroll, and I'm like, ugh, I don't want to support Crunchyroll that much. But didn't I see something recently like they just like doubled their price for it? Yeah, I still pay for YouTube Premium because I feel like that's the I feel like that's the best. Like I get the most use out of that. Although I just have a personal plan, I don't have a family plan. Yeah, Crackle, I think there's several of those. There's like Freevee, Crackle, Pluto TV, and I really like those. There's just something really nice about putting one of those on and just watching whatever's on. I was more annoyed in the fact that when Crunchyroll bought Funimation, I had like several digital things that I'd bought on there. Well, I didn't buy them. Like my brother bought the discs and gave me the codes, or I got the codes elsewhere from other friends. But I just think it's stupid that that stuff is just like gone into the ether. You don't get it anywhere. It would make me really annoyed if for people that like paid for that stuff. But I thought I saw something recently that Crunchyroll went from like $50 a year or something like that to like $100. $140 a year for YouTube Premium is big bucks, no whammy though. Is that? I don't have YouTube TV. Or I don't know. I thought it was like I signed up really early on there, and I feel like I was grandfathered in to the like the low price of premium.
This flowing background, by the way, always looked pretty good.
Oh yeah, it does look really good. I'm gonna run to the bathroom, okay? I know
Alrighty. Alright. It's been a while since I played this far into the game. So I don't know this dungeon as well as some of the earlier parts. How do you, oh yeah, I think, oh, you have to get Ebisu Maru's camera. The red Dharma torch is used against this door. Oh, probably do this. Actually, you know, it's interesting. They didn't, up until this point, they didn't gate my progress with the flaming money thing. You know, I think this little crane game here might be the first, probably not the first crane game I encountered in a game. But I'd never really tried like a real crane game before. And, you know, so I remember having a hard time understanding how it works. That like you only have like one chance to move in each direction. I remember being kind of confused. Something they do, I mean, you know, the music in this game is just incredible in general, but something they do really well in the dungeons in particular is as you make progress through the dungeon, the music kind of like ramps up. The best music is actually the fourth dungeon, I would say. Dang it. Can I even make that jump? That looks like a tough jump. Rip. I keep hitting the button too late. I'm not sure if I can make that anyway, though. Oh, I can't. Looked like a difficult jump. Ow. You know, the little like pinball style shots that enemies shoot in this game, like almost looks like some sort of like generic, just like pinball image that might have been in like some of their 3D software or something. Like it doesn't look super bespoke, I would say. Star Tropics 64. You know, I want to like Star Tropics a lot more than I do, but it's definitely a series that I think would be really great to revive. Because, I mean, they would probably do a great job with it today. But the original game gets really obnoxious after the first dungeon or two. Like, the game makes such a strong first impression, but then it's just like, ugh.
I had to go upstairs and get one of these. Give myself a pumpkin JoJo.
A pumpkin JoJo? What's a JoJo?
Pumpkin JoJos are just like pumpkin flavored, like Oreos from Trader Joe's.
Ah. So how you gonna eat that, Mr. Raptor?
I've been eating it.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
No, but pumpkin JoJos are just like they're pumpkin flavored like Oreo style cookies from Trader Joe's. Like that's what they're that's what like their line of cookies are called.
Let's see.
Like JoJo's. Like I got there's like some pumpkin JoJo frosting like on the raptor's teeth.
So what was the who bought the raptor again? Your son?
Oh, like years and years ago.
Oh, okay. It's been around a while.
It's been around for a long time.
I mean, it looks like pretty new advanced technology to me.
Well, he probably played with it for a day. It started out because I thought it came with like gloves too. Like,
oh yeah.
And I thought it was really funny to like either do like the devil horns with it or like stick up my middle finger with it. It's just because it's just 3 fingers.
The Spirit Halloween opened in an unusual spot this year. It was this.
Do you usually check them out each year?
No, I honestly I don't know if I've ever been in one.
You should just check it out.
Yeah.
You know, there's a Spirit Halloween movie.
Oh, yeah, that sounds a little familiar. Like officially licensed or?
Yeah.
That sounds kind of familiar. But yeah, like the Restore was in this like small like sort of standalone building, and it moved into like a what used to be a grocery store, and at some point in the past year or so, and Spirit Halloween opened up where the Restore used to be. And I thought that was kind of, I don't know, just didn't look like your typical Spirit Halloween location. I'll have to check it out though. I'm curious. I'm curious mostly just because I used to go to that restore all the time. This crane game has always been kind of weird because it's like behind this like really frosted glass screen, so it's like harder than you would expect to see the shadow.
This is what it looks like when I'm inside the mask.
Exactly what it looks like.
The thing that I think is so funny is how,
like, my head is clearly too big for this thing, and it's just like my double chin is just like down here.
Actually, I take back what I said about this being the first crane game thing I had done in the game. Although I still remember being confused by it because I didn't understand that you can only move once in each direction. But, well, no, maybe it was because I'm thinking about Link's Awakening, and I think Link's Awakening, does it still go in two directions or is it only go in one direction? I can't quite remember. Like obviously like Super Mario Land 2, you know, that's just in 2D. I cannot remember if Link's Awakenings is kind of in 3D space or not.
some people in the chat were talking about the show, the mini series V. Remember V? Did you ever watch that? Does that sound familiar? I mean, you might have been, because I was very young when it was on.
Oh, okay.
It was like, I feel like it was on like one time a year. It was like it's like a 4-episode miniseries about, I don't know, like aliens that are basically like lizard people aliens.
Okay.
And they have like red uniforms. But they have like a little like upside down triangle. And it was on like once a year. At least that's how I remember it being on it. Like they would re-show it once a year, like once a year.
All right, here's our real test of N64 stick sensitivity.
Like at the beginning of summer or something like that, because they would show it like after TV seasons were over. Let me see what the history of the V.
I have no idea what Ebisu Maru says there, but like his little like victory thing, like it always sounded to me like he says, "More cheesy now, more cheesy now," or more like "Mo cheesy now, mo cheesy now." I do not know what he's saying. He said it again, "More cheesy now."
Okay, so there was a mini series and a TV movie, and then a remake. But I don't know how long the series was.
More cheesy now.
Is there any way to stream this or watch it? Oh, it's on Tubi.
Oh, you're in luck.
Tubi. Go to tubitv.com. Tubi. I think that's the funniest sound, like streaming. it's clearly the most fun for me to say. You gonna put it on Tubi?
Yeah, last time I booted Tubi, I usually use Tubi on my computer so I can have ad blocker on it, but last time I accidentally booted just like a Tubi app. I'm pretty sure I recall there being a jingle that was like Tubi or something. Am I right?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't watch it.
I feel like I remember that. It goes. What if it just went
Tubi.
Tubi. I was, you know, I've been using that hand me down Apple TV 4K that Sean Quinn gave me a while back. You know, as my main streaming device for a while. And, you know, I'm not a big Apple guy, but you know, it's a nice streaming device. You know,
It is, and like you know, it has like good HDR and
good
has,
HDR.
like, even has, like,
you know,
Dolby
it's
Vision.
it's really good. But you know,
Vision.
I was looking just out of curiosity. I was checking out some streaming apps on Xbox recently, and you know, I got a Roku for my old C7, which is in the dining room, because the Wi-Fi was so bad I could barely watch. You know, I really just put it in the dining room so I could watch YouTube.
I get one of those Unify access points.
Well,
Put those access points in my all around the house.
well, I mean, just like I think it was more just like the positioning of or maybe the Wi-Fi was always bad because I had always used wired connections with it when I was using like the built-in streaming apps.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was, you know, like, oh, maybe the Roku is just as good as the Apple TV, you know, and I'll use the Roku on my main TV and the Apple TV on that TV. No, like certain streaming apps, like this is a big problem, I think. Certain streaming apps will not switch to 24 hertz on many devices. Like, you know, they'll stay at 60 hertz or something. Now you could just set like the device to run at 24 hertz, but you know, maybe not all content is 24 hertz, and maybe some of it is 30 hertz, or maybe you know, the menus just feel really bad.
But the Apple TV does.
But the Apple TV does, for all the apps that I use anyway, it correctly switches to 24 hertz. And the Xbox, like, it has like the option in the menu allow 24 hertz. But like I was testing like Amazon Prime, not switching to 24 hertz when I load videos. So like it's so weird to me, like how inconsistent that is. Like why? Like, and I don't think that's on Apple. I think that's on the developers. I mean, I could be wrong. It might be a mixture, but like, why would this not be a consistent behavior?
I don't know.
I can't quite see it because it's partially blocked.
I use I just like
what's Video Game Obsession saying? That little heart icon is in the way, and I can't. Does he say Prime does that for us? Does what? Switch to 24 hertz?
The Amazon Fire TV.
Oh, on
4K.
the Amazon Fire. Well, but I'm talking about Xbox and Roku. Now, I could be wrong about 24 hertz on Prime for the Roku, because it was a while ago I tested. But I can't remember what app it was. Some app, though, that, you know, I didn't want to compromise my experience on. I can't remember which one. Did not support 20, or it wouldn't switch to 24 hertz.
Because Apple's the only one that cares about the presentation of actual.
Well, I mean, you know, like, it's weird though, because like Apple very much has this approach of like, oh, we want to hide like the technicalities from the user. Like we just want the experience, right? And so like in some ways you have to dig deep to get to like all of the granular video settings, but they are there. They are there. You know, you can have it match range, HDR range and frame rate per content. You can manually choose to do that, and gosh darn it, it sure does work. You know, the Apple TV remote certainly can be annoying, but you know, since I'm on your Apple family account and everything, you know, things generally work out pretty well for me using that device. But
Did you know that you could use that device and you could like see where I am at any moment? Because I share that stuff like with the family.
really, like, see, you're just all in on, you know, like, oh, I'll let Apple do anything they want for my convenience.
No,
I mean,
you
I
can
get
turn
it.
it off. I do it because it's convenient for my family to know where I am,
Well,
and only people in my family can see that stuff.
sure. I mean, I get it. I get it. You know,
I mean, you can do that with like anything, really.
right.
Like,
I mean, it's just that kind of stuff has less of a place in my life.
yeah, I was just joking. I'm not expecting
No. I'm
you
just-
to like use it. I just think it's funny to think about that.
right.
Like,
right.
if you wanted to, you could like see where I am at any given time.
Like, how granular is it? Is it like, where are you within the
You can
house?
like zoom right in. Like if I know that if I'm like waiting for somebody, like if I'm waiting for like my wife or something to get, like if we don't know who's picking up the kids or something like that, if one of us is picking up the kids and I'm not sure if she's gonna make it on time, I can always like look to see how far away she is. I mean, it's very convenient for like, you know, like my daughter who just got a phone last year likes it because if I'm coming to pick her up, she knows how much time she has before I get there. So I mean, it's just it's convenient for that stuff. Those doors, I can't stop looking at those and think they look like USB ports.
Oh, I see.
You see them? You see that?
Hang
You look
on.
at those and think they look like USB ports.
More cheesy now. Hang on. I am dealing with ghosts and things. I see it. I don't think I would have thought of that on my own, but I see it.
Kayla Gamer's over here thinking about taking a dump with that lizard mask on.
Have you ever done it?
No.
Do you think you will?
No, maybe not.
Maybe
Yeah.
not.
Just like beads of sweat rolling down my head. reading.
More cheesy now.
I've already shot most. Like I can't go back and reshoot that stuff with a mask on. I'm not doing that. You're thinking about doing it though. Like, wouldn't it be cool if they both came out? Like if mine came out in September and yours came out in October?
I mean, I'm going to try to get it out in October. If I'm going to be working on it though, you might need to look at something lightweight to do, or for both of us to do, because I was originally going to try to do the October sponsorship video.
Listen, when this thing is done, I feel like I'm going to feel like $1 million. I just feel like, I mean, it's like the main thing that's been like been a monkey on my back for a year.
Well, it's Analog Frontiers for me. You know how it is.
Yeah. But I mean, like that's that's something that should not be a monkey on your back anymore, because like it's like we can't release it with what we have.
Well, I know, but we do. I was really intending like this month for us to like discuss like, okay, like let's start to come up with a plan for getting that material and bringing it to the finish line. You know, but
yeah,
we haven't really had.
Well, I mean, that would require probably for you to like really look, like revisit what you have and see what needs to be is needed. How is the PS Stefan, saying Sky Gunner isn't that bad. It's actually pretty nice. Is there like how is the version that's on PS4 and PS5?
Well, I mean, I think part of the problem with like the Ratchet and Clank was that they didn't disable the blur thing that's like inherently part of
right.
the original game.
I'm thinking
so
about buying that Sky Gunner just because, like, I'm curious.
right, but what I'm saying is like I imagine that's not a problem with Sky Gunner, so it might be a better point of reference for judging that
Like
the
the
new
emulator or
emulator.
whatever. Yeah. And can you trigger the 240p mode? I wonder.
Oh,
And what it does.
I forgot all about that. That's
Yeah.
an interesting point. I mean, I've got the Japanese version of that game.
Mhm.
I should just buy the PS5 version.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
Have
I'm
a
curious.
have a version
to
in
see what
English
it's
that I
like.
can play.
It's like a button combo when the game is booting up. It's funny because I'm pretty sure that it's like, it's like either like.
Is it square and triangle? I mean, that's pretty common for 480p anyway.
I know, which is funny because it's like the opposite.
Oh, it's like circle and X. That kind of makes sense, actually.
No, I'm just saying like it.
Oh, you mean you're going for you're holding a button combo for a lower resolution. It's funny, is what you're saying.
Yes. That video that I did like years ago has gotten a lot of
Renewed
comments though,
attention.
because of that.
That's cool.
If you put in Sky Gunner in the Google, my video is like the first video that pops up.
Where is? Was it this room that I was just in? Oh yeah, I think so. I think we're about to the boss. I really like the boss music in this one. I think they reuse it at least once or twice.
Sky Gunner video I did was 10 minutes and 45 seconds long. Room tour should have less celebration famous vibe, tossing champagne wishes and caviar dreams at the end. I just want to get done. It doesn't need the. I don't know. Like I can't think of much that I'm going to change. And then I just want to get done. So does this feel like a lot more playable though? Like at the higher frame rate?
I mean, most people would probably say so. I'm so used to in 64 frame rates though.
It's actually surprising that Konami hasn't done like a Goemon collection.
I mean, you know, probably pretty limited market, and also consider how few games were localized. But you know, they did do the Game Boy the Game Boy Color game in Europe, or rather, Game Boy Color only in Europe. They colorized it and translated it for just one of the random Game Boy games. That's the only English version of that game, which was one of the ones that I grabbed in Germany this year.
You know, it's that Backaroo game came out too.
Yes.
Like in how much is the digital version of that? Because I don't even know if that's going to be.
It's on Steam, by the way, and
it is, but like
it runs real bad on Switch. Like, that's a game I'm waiting to play until Switch 2. Like, all it needs is a 30 frames per second cap, because it's unlocked and it's mostly over 30, but it looks bad. Huh?
Has the localized version that they heard that they like fixed some stuff.
Well, there was a patch for the physical that I have, which it did not add English or anything, but it still
it's $40
has performance issues.
Oh, there is a demo though. Did you download the US demo?
I didn't.
I'm gonna download that. I wish that there was more versions though. I mean, I wish that there was like a PS5 version, but I wonder if the chances of that are very small. How many gold coins I have. $1.55. Has anybody here bought like the US version of Backaroo? Backaroo.
What's funny is like the Japanese name like has so many words in it.
Yeah, it's like Mamita Backaroo.
Yeah, it's like Oedo Mameda no Backaroo, and then there's like a whole subtitle under it. They just like shortened it to Backaroo. Like no subtitle, no nothing.
Called Legend of Backaroo.
Oh, is it? I thought it was just Backaroo.
No, it would be funny if they called it that.
Legend of the Mystical Backaroo.
Performance isn't great, but does anybody know if there's any chance of it coming out on anything else? And Steam Deck wise, like I wonder if it's.
I bet it runs great on Steam Deck.
You think so? I wonder if it's cheaper, or if it's the same price, or if there's a demo. I wonder if there'd be a demo on Steam.
I bet there's a Steam demo. You should check if there is.
I will right now.
Look, the character exited the scene by spitting, but you can still see them, like, because I've got the wide screen on.
Just keyframed him over there, right?
Yep.
You just never know if something's gonna like. I think that even if it says it's like works well on Steam Deck, sometimes it doesn't. Like I bought that Sulaco game on Steam Deck, and I don't know what the deal is. Like, but it takes like it would like it says that it's like Steam compatible, and it took like 20 minutes to load the game.
20 minutes, wow.
Yeah, like seriously, I don't know why it was happening, but I'm not the only one that.
I mean, isn't that game like, if I recall, I think it's supposed to be heavier than you'd expect.
But they've come out with No demo. Looks like here, I think. And it is deck verified.
Does this really not heal you? Oh, there you go.
Verified. Yeah, just very hit or miss. Yeah, I mean, like I had gotten the Capcom Fighting Collection, like in a bundle, like a while back, and that is verified for deck. And then I tried playing it, and I played like Pocket Fighter, and the whole game just like moves in slow motion, and it's deck verified. Like, all right, this does not make any sense. I haven't tried it yet, but it seems like something you'd like is the Pseudo Regalia. Have you heard of that?
Mm-mm.
It's an N64 style like platformer.
Oh,
It's like $5.
That does sound like my jam.
But what I have been playing a bunch, I just started playing it when I was like recording stuff for the room tour. I had bought it like a while back, but never really put a lot of time into it. And I was like, I just want something like kind of cool on screen.
Yeah.
So I played that at this game, this vertical shooter called Devil Blade Reboot,
Oh.
and it's like amazing. And I feel stupid for not having like really played it a lot sooner. It's a vertical shooter, but you get like do more damage based on like how close you are to the enemy. So it like rewards you for like getting real close and shooting. It's cool. It does have a 4-3 mode. All right, I'm gonna try this.
Does anyone remember? I'm pretty sure the next step is getting Goemon's. I think I gotta go back to Edo. I think I gotta get Goemon's power, magic power, but I forget. Does anyone remember where you get it? I can't remember if it's in Edo or somewhere else.
I've heard that like Peglin looks pretty cool too. It's like carrying the torch that Peggle started, right? Oh, there's even a robot battle in this Backroo game.
Heck yeah.
I'm just gonna try one of these.
Zazentown? Really? I go back to... Yeah, I got Embassy Mario's magic in Zazentown. You get asked working? Go to a new area. You don't get Goemon's. So I need to go back to okay, I think I know what door I need to go to now. I was thinking the next region was the one where you have to like remove the Super Saiyan blocks with Goemon.
Oh, your attacks are on the shoulder buttons?
Goemon, you dog. You did it. You actually did. You're Super Saiyan.
That's what Karina in sounds kind of like in Legend of Mana or in Visions of Mana. She kind of sounds like that.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I will find.
Dog. You did it. You actually did.
I mean, maybe I will find her voice relatable. Who knows?
I don't know. Okay, so the attack is on the L and R buttons. I hate it when it forces you to. I hate it when it puts stuff on like the L and R buttons, but not on the triggers.
See that you complain about that a lot. That doesn't. It depends on what the function is. Like if it's something that you tap briefly every once in a while, I kind of prefer it just on regular RNL. But if it's something that's like a major like attack or something that you use often, I prefer it on the trigger. It just depends on what it is. Like especially if it's on a system with analog triggers. I don't want to be pushing a mushy trigger all the time for just like a basic attack. You know, for God of War Ragnarok, I did what I wished I had done for God of War 2018 or whatever year that came out. I think it was 2018. Or I didn't realize until I was like halfway through the game that there was like a classic mode configuration where like strong and heavy attacks are on square and triangle instead of the shoulder buttons. And I did a customized version because the options are very customizable in Ragnarok. So I've been playing it with a very customized.
So wait, they were on the triggers before?
They were on the triggers before, and there is a classic mode where it doesn't put them on the triggers. There are potential complications though. I mean, like for aiming and stuff, but especially on PS5 for Ragnarok, you've got you can use gyro, so it's not really a big deal. Like even when you're playing as like the other character with a bow, it's still not that bad using arrows like on square because you've got the motion to sort of adjust.
Did the first one have as many modifiers?
You mean like just like control options or?
Yeah.
I think it had a lot, but I don't remember you being able to do like full custom. Like I did, I'm pretty positive it doesn't have gyro aiming. But what I did was there was a customize option, and there was just like one button I didn't like on the classic, so
this is the area you need to be in, apparently.
Yeah, I think I have to go to the top of this hill if I remember correctly. But anyway, yeah, I just did customized. There was a copy of the classic, but yeah, I mean, it's just I've been liking it much more in terms of just the controls, just doing attack on face buttons. Like I really like attack on shoulder buttons for Souls games, but like this idea that like melee attacks like are like always on shoulder buttons now, like I don't like that.
Yeah,
like I understand the logic behind it because you can continue to move the camera, but it just like I don't think it's the right thing for every game. Okay, I think I need to like collect something first. I need to collect like some batteries first, I think, and then come here. I couldn't remember if I had to come here first.
Oh, now it's like loading it. No, I think it's see how long it's going to take.
Oh, no worries about backseating.
Okay.
Yeah. So the world of this game has always been a little challenging to remember my way about. Yeah, I've played through the game a number of times, but not enough to have it completely memorized.
Ben Brody asking if you've bought any more versions of Super Mario Brothers.
Not
That's right.
not since we were counting them up last week.
Okay, so this Sulaco seems to be working better now. Do I have it set to?
They're talking about Inaba, which is the name of the town in Persona 4, which I don't think is actually a name of a real town.
Right, right. So have you done anything with like the Steam families? Like I know that they just kind of rolled it out.
Oh,
fully.
yeah. Drum and Lynn and I are on a Steam family.
Mm-hmm. Can people be in more than one family, you think, or no?
I doubt it, because they really do want you to be like in the same household, which obviously we are not. And it didn't.
Right.
The invitation did not work at first.
Okay,
But then
I mean,
Drum logged into he logged into his account, because this was, I think, when we did the Super Bunny Man stream. And he was the one that had the game, so he logged into his account at my house, and then the next week we sent the invite again, from the same login at my house, and it worked.
So does that give you access to all the games they have, and they get access to all the games you have?
Yes, but I don't recall if there's limitations on like only one person can have it booted at a time, or
I feel like there's no.
I'm pretty sure
I saw something about how they said that there's no limit.
or like you might not be. I don't know if you can play like multiplayer together or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. $4.99 from Jimmy Schindler. Thank you. Saying, curious what your guys' favorite cameos were in Astrobot, and if any of the deeper cuts caught you by surprise. Love the channel.
The one that kept baffling me, and I had the hardest time figuring it out, was the guy with the paintbrush, the graffiti artist.
Yeah. The Concrete Genie guy.
Yeah, I mean I've not played the game, so not to disparage it or anything, but like it's pretty clear that like, Sony sometimes they have a hard time like coming up with stuff for the past two generations, like coming up with worthy cameos and stuff. It's all like M-rated shooty dudes. They're like, well, we gotta have like a little more variety. So definitely more to choose from previous generations.
For me, the biggest cameo was the music in the final level. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that was unbelievably like what? I would say
especially since I don't really consider that like a PS1 game. Like the Saturn version is like considered to be superior.
I mean, I really like Rudy from Wild Arms being in there.
Yeah, I like that too.
That was good. One of the I always loved the descriptions they had for the characters too, and like the descriptions for the special items that they unlocked.
Yeah.
Like even though it wasn't a bot. This is where you go to the final level, but you can't do anything here right now. Or you kind of go here, go to the final level, but it's complicated what happens. But anyway, I really liked the description on the on Trico.
Yeah.
There was like sometimes does what you tell it to, which like I just liked that because it's like it's kind of a wink and nod, but like I genuinely feel people like misunderstand the mechanics of that game. people are like, oh, it's so frustrating, like to get it to do what you want to do. That's the point. It's an animal and it acts like an animal. I can't get Sandy to do what I want her to do. Like it's an animal. Like that is part of the experience. And I think they very intentionally captured that. And that is my opinion. And sometimes that kind of stuff works and sometimes it doesn't, where like, okay, we're going to have you do this kind of like, I remember like that was something that a similar thing kind of annoyed me about some of the kind of the middle Paper Mario games that were kind of irritating. I thought Origami King was a really nice return to quality. But your sticker stars and your Super Paper Marios and whatnot, like they had, especially Super Paper Mario, I remember had like scenarios that were like legitimately annoying, boring, tedious gameplay, and that was like the joke. Like it was a joke. It was like, ha ha ha, isn't it ridiculous we're making you do this? And like, so from that perspective, I can understand like why people would be annoyed by how Trico acts in The Last Guardian. I can understand that, but like it worked for me. Like some of that jokey, tedious stuff in like Super Paper Mario did not work for me. Trico works for me.
That's another one I should put on my list for next year. Not that it matters, but...
In my head toward the desert, this part of the game is pretty fuzzy for me. Although I don't even know if I'm going to get to another save point or not.
Dad1153 with $2 asked me what Joe's basement smells like. It smells like so much weed. No, it smells like air.
I mean, does it smell like a basement of an old house should?
Yeah.
I mean, what
this basement smells like.
I mean, I like a good old basement smell every now and then. It can be nostalgic. I do not remember going into the desert before getting Sasuke. I actually remember very little about the desert. I remember there is a desert. I don't remember really what you do there. Is there an impact fight there, maybe?
I said it smells like so much weed. Not so much weed. I mean, it is in Colorado after all. I'm obviously just kidding. Guess I needed to spell that out any better. You get the battery in the desert.
Really? I do not remember that at all. There's definitely some frame rate issues, here and there on this computer.
If anybody's finished Visions of Mana in the chat, is it worth doing the the bonus chapter? That's after the post game chapter. Ben Brody with $5. Thank you. Saying, what is your favorite "Oh no, I'm about to fall off the edge" animation? Mine, for whatever reason, is Tales from Sonic. It cracks me up every time.
I mean, we've got some right here. Oh, look at this! I actually didn't. Oh my gosh, they've got like a different one for all 4 directions. Look at that. Look at that. It's like it's different depending on what way you're facing. That's amazing, actually. I never realized that.
Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I mean, I always like the Castle of Illusion. That's the first time I remember seeing a I'm about to fall off the edge animation in Castle of Illusion.
I'm pretty sure the first one that was at least in a game that I owned was Donkey Kong Country. And I do think that's a really good, like Diddy's is whatever, but Donkey's is really good with, you know, his eyes pop out.
So I had to, like, I made a 4K recording of that Donkey Kong Country exposed videotape.
Oh, a new one?
Well, yeah, so
Using Bob's RetroTink tips?
yeah. Frank Cifaldi and the Video Game History Foundation are doing a thing at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. They have a exhibit set up that's like specifically 1994.
Ah.
So he sent me a message and he's like, "Do you have any of those old, like those commercials that you digitized?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, here, you know, you can use them." And he's like, "Do you have like the Donkey Kong Country exposed tape?" I'm like, "I have it, and I don't know if I have like a recording of it here, but I'm happy to make like a new one using like the 4K.
Oh, you didn't?
RetroTink.
You didn't have that one already digitized?
I mean, I did, but I don't know where it is anymore. Like I digitized it for that video, but I don't think I have it anymore. And I put it in my VCR, and it like spit the tape out immediately and like pulled the tape out.
Oh no.
But I still like it didn't like crumple it up or anything like that. But
Right.
it does have some tracking errors at points in it. And there, like, there's one thing that I noticed about it that I had never noticed before, and I need to find it because I need to like confirm who it is that says it.
I mean, what you know, I don't have a great VCR situation right now in general, and I always just like put in like a blank tape that I don't care about, or like a, not like a blank, I mean like a tape that, like I've got this tape that like we had to provide our own VHS tape in college for recording speeches in the public presentation class, and I've still got that tape, and I do not care to watch myself at 18 years old give a public speech ever again. And so I usually use that, or one of the other tapes that, you know, just has like, we had to record like 4 hours of like TV news or something for some class at some point. I've got that tape, and like, so I just like don't care. And, you know, so I always put in like a tape like that into a VCR. Like, even if it's a VCR that's been good to me in the past, like I still like put a tape in I don't care about first, because you never know when it's going to finally go bad.
Right. Well, I mean, I think that the tapes that they sent out were just like not very good quality in the first place. I'm watching it now, like compared to like those MTV recordings that were like recorded at like the 2-hour tapes, or the hour, what is it, like SP, like the single play or whatever it is. Like that, like is so much better quality than that Donkey Kong Country video is. Like, it just feels like it was like a dub of a dub.
Is there anything else to do in the desert? I'm guessing no.
But I don't know. Like, it's just sucked that I put it in there and it like immediately like was like.
Yeah.
Like,
but you got an okay.
The tape that, like,
you got an okay copy of it though.
Yeah, I mean, the tracking goes in and out at points where it like isn't the greatest, but
I mean,
whatever.
maybe that's part of the experience, though.
Yes. But I'm pretty sure, like, at one point when he, like, I feel like, I don't know if this is how I remember it because I was like watching it, and there's a part where like when he like introduces Dan Osen.
Yeah.
In there, and he's like, "Oh, Dan, what's up?" And Dan goes, "Pretty good."
I mean, you know what I mean? Reciprocating small talk is really hard.
Yeah, I mean, I have a real problem. Like when somebody asks me what's up, I always like unintentionally, but it happens like more often than I like to admit. Like, come back and say like, "How you doing?"
Well, what always happens to me, and you know, I obviously I am bad at and do not particularly care for just like general social niceties. Like let's just assume respect for each other without having to say it. You know?
Yeah, but it's it's a conversation starter. It's just like
but you know, I don't want to start a conversation with, you know, the person that, you know, I'm ordering food from. But like, you know, what always happens to me is like when people say, you know, they'll be like, you know, how you know, like how you doing? I'll say doing good. But then, you know, obviously, if I was like less socially inept, I would say like, you know, I'm good. And how are you? And I don't say how are you usually. And when I just say doing good, I think they are interpreting it as me saying to them, doing good ? And they say, oh yeah, I'm good. And in my head, I'm just thinking like, dude, I don't really, I mean, I just want chicken tenders. You know, like I'm not looking to have a conversation here. You're here working at fast food. Like, I understand you're probably not having a great day.
You know, like, a friend of mine, my friend Jeff, we used to we worked together at Electronics Boutique at a point, but he's just like, we were friends like outside of that. And it always used to crack me up, like when people were like asking him, like asking like, oh, you know, how you doing? And his answer was always like, I'm a little bit sweaty, but other than that, I'm okay.
That's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty good. I like it.
A little bit sweaty, but other than that, I'm okay.
I feel like this is a man of wisdom.
Yeah.
Who knows how to, like, you know, be funny and not, like, you know, completely put off the person who's asking, but also clearly communicating, like, come on, dude, do we really have to say this, you know, stupid social niceties?
I wish I had a big bowl of delicious crispy onion rings right now, to be honest. That reminds me of the guy who I said, it's my neighbor. I said he would end the conversation, I'm going to go poop. He says, I'm going to go take a shit. So he said, I mean, I told you about that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I still laugh about it because the guy kind of looks like Charles Martinet. Yeah.
Long hair Charles Martinet or short hair Charles Martinet?
Short haired. And the funniest thing about it is like that he was like talking to it's not like he was trying to get out of a conversation because he was the one talking to him like all day. He was like talking to the lawn guy.
Yeah.
And if the lawn guy was like, all right, well, you know, I got to go. Or I got some work to do. He was just like talking his ear off all day long out there while he was working in the heat.
So it wasn't
Right.
an excuse to get away from it. It was just
No.
it was just
like
he was just telling
clearly-
him everything.
Yeah, or it's like, if you need me, that's where I'm going to be. So you can let yourself in if you need to come in to the house for any reason.
Well, I don't remember how to get all of Sasuke's batteries, so I'm going to go back to Zazentown and save and quit. Unless, actually, is this where I need to be? Wait, is it? Wait, I can't remember. Maybe should I check the other way? Let me check the other way real quick. And if I don't find it real quick, then I'm just gonna.
But if anybody hasn't played, so someone's saying that Devil Blade reboot Devil Blade is on PS1, and the reboot is like
Wait.
a port of the PS1 PC, which is kind of cool.
That's where I came from. Take a picture of the tree? Wait, really? Obviously, if I was talking to NPCs and stuff, I would probably be getting a lot more hints. Oh wait, I did go here. Take a picture of the tree. I don't remember that.
Heard it was on PS1, but I couldn't find the ROM. Huh. I mean, it's gotta be a reboot from someplace. Do you know where you're going, or are you gonna save and? It's 11:30.
Yeah, I should probably save and quit. Sorry. Sorry, Chibi Fighter. I do not remember taking a picture of the tree, though. That's interesting. I mean, the most recent time I played through this has been, I don't know. I probably played through it. Maybe well, actually, I don't remember if I finished it. I definitely played it on a backloggery stream, but I can't remember if I finished the full playthrough. I might have. This isn't the end, is it? I think I finished all that backloggery stream. I don't know. It was probably like 8 years ago or something. So, I mean, I actually beat this game. Or did I beat it on a rental? Maybe not. I think I got close to being on a rental, and I'm like, I don't want to finish it because I want to buy this. If I finish it, I'll feel like I can't buy it. So I played a lot of it on rental, but then I bought it a bit later. Not too much later. Man, look at this lady swaying her head here. Like, that's just stand there. That can't be healthy for you. But anyway, thanks everyone for watching. This has been fun. Yeah. I definitely feel more interested in checking out more of these, because I mean, this is, you know, aside from little things being, rendered a little funny here or there, for the most part, this looks really spot on. Ran to no bugs. And it
didn't crash once.
Didn't crash once. It was shockingly easy to set up and run. And also easy to use the Switch Online controller. So, yeah, consider me impressed. I'd love to see, the maybe the presentation, you know, in the menus, it's good, but you know, like I assume that this is, you know, kind of a framework created by the sort of that decompilation tool.
Right.
You know, so I'd love to see this stuff evolve. I mean, it's solid and serviceable as it is. And I like the available options. They're really good. You know, like I said, this 4K stuff probably isn't what I would do outside of a stream, just because it's fun for a stream to use it in high resolution. But yeah, this is really impressive. So yeah. I'll probably stream that Majora's Mask one sometime, and
solid
you know.
and serviceable. Put it on the box. The lizard might be back in the future.
But anyway, yeah,
Lizard.
I think this is so impressive for being considered version 0.02.
Yes.
And I'm really looking forward to
0.0.2 repeating.
I will 100% stream Goemon's Great Adventure when that's added to this as well. Because that will benefit hugely. So yeah, I will do more of these. Good night, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for donating, and we'll see you next week. Hope you have a great week.